A little tongue-tied today. Brain is working a little slow. That's okay. I hope everyone's had a great week and has done something productive and enjoying. Well, I guess for here, anyways, it feels like fall. Starting to get cooler in the morning. Got the hoodies on. Seeing some leaves change here in New Hampshire, starting to change. So that's pretty cool. Fall is my favorite time of year by far. I love it here in the fall. It doesn't last long enough, in my opinion, but enjoying it. The beginning of fall, definitely around here. Um, this week, I wanted to talk a little bit something about something I was kind of noodling on last week, and I feel like it was probably I would say is one of the cornerstones to my healthy lifestyle for a variety of reasons. And it's kind of lame and maybe a little bit I don't know, trendy, I guess, to talk about, but um, sometimes trends are good things, I think, in my opinion, right? Not all times. Sometimes trends are pretty bad, pretty lame. But in this scenario, I think this personally is a trend that I think a lot more people will benefit from. And that is the topic of morning routines. I think you probably hear a lot of people talk about their morning routines. And personally, because I'm such a fan of morning routines and I am a firm believer of the impact they can have when it comes to being a healthy individual, I find those topics, those discussions super fascinating. I love to listen to what other people do in their morning routines, and I think sometimes they may um, you know, make them sound more elaborate and more crazy and whatever than maybe they are on an everyday basis. But I still find the topic incredibly fascinating. I like to see what other people do because I'm always looking for ways to improve my own morning routine. And so I want to talk a little bit about what a morning routine is, why I think it's beneficial, and what mine looks like if you're curious at all. But first, let's talk about what a morning routine is. A morning routine is really just a certain set of things you do. Maybe it's just the first 5 minutes of your day, 10 minutes of your day, or longer, um, that you do every morning. Almost every morning, right? Even I don't do my morning routine every morning, but most mornings. And I think they're cornerstones of basically things that you do to set up your day to be as best as it can be, right? Whatever a quote unquote best day looks like for you, I think there are things that you do to make sure that your day is starting off on the right foot, you're in the right mindset, the mood, um, and you establish habits that, you know, kind of trickle you along throughout the rest of the day to make sure you do the other things that you're supposed to do during the day. And like I said, morning routines do not need to be super elaborate. They don't need to be, they don't need to have any specifics in them at all. I'm a firm believer that you can create the morning routine that works best for you. Um, and I always think that hearing other people's morning routines helps people establish the right morning routine for them, right? It helps give them ideas for what they can do. Um, I think that most morning routines should consist of some type of something you do to that's helpful, right? That's something that you want to do, that you believe puts your best foot forward. Maybe that's journaling, maybe it's meditating, maybe it's reading a book, maybe it's taking a bath, maybe it is sitting out on the porch with a cup of coffee watching the sunrise, maybe it's playing a game with your kid, maybe it's sitting down and having breakfast with your partner, maybe it's going for a walk. um, And it doesn't, I don't believe that there's one thing that everyone needs to do in the morning to kick their day off, right? You need to find what is right for you. But the point is to find the things that you need to do in the morning so that it makes it easier to do the rest of the things you're supposed to do for the rest of the day, right? So, for example, some people find it easier to their morning routine is their workout, right? It gets the hard thing out of the way in the beginning of the day. They know if they put it off later, they're not going to do it. It puts them in the right mindset. It puts them, it gets their day off to the right foot. They've done something positive for themselves beginning the day, and it sets them up for the rest of the day. When they miss their workout, something just doesn't feel right. Their day goes wrong, etc. But they know if they work out first thing in the morning, that sets them up to be, successful the rest of the day. Their eating's good, their stress management's good, their mental focus and clarity is good. Everything about the rest of their day is great. And if they miss it, it's not as good, right? Um, it could be, it could be anything, anything. It could just be like I said, journaling, like, getting your day written down in front of you that you have to do. And that puts, takes off a huge amount of stress and sets you up to know exactly what you need to do, when you need to do it, how you need to do it, that type of thing. Um, I think the thing that most people struggle with in when it comes to a morning routine is making time for it. um, and I think really that comes down to what you do the night before. So I think a good morning routine starts with making sure you get enough sleep the night before. Right. So most people are like, oh, Ryan, I need to, if I'm going to work out in the morning or whatever, I'm going to go for a walk in the morning. I'm going to do my journaling in the morning, whatever. I need to carve out extra time into my morning, and that's going to cut into my sleep, and that's a bad thing. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you need to go to bed earlier so that you still get enough sleep, but wake up earlier to go to bed, to do your morning routine. Right. So personally, it's super lame. I was just thinking about this last night. But I'm in bed almost every single night, Monday through Sunday at 9 o'clock, if not earlier. Some nights 8:30. And I do that because I just prioritize having enough time in the morning. I need to make sure for my morning routine that I get up before my kids do, and they're getting up. Sometimes they get up when I get up, which is unfortunate. But sometimes, they're probably on average getting up between 6 and 6:30 on most days. So if I want to have some space for myself in the morning, I need to make sure that I'm up around 5, a little after 5, and that's the time I get up. And if I want to get 8 hours of sleep, I just work backwards from that, and that means going to bed between 8:30 and 9. That's the way it is, and that's fine. I'm okay with it. It's not a big deal to me. I'd rather have the time in the morning than the time in the evening, to be honest with you. Um, and that works for me, and my lifestyle and my demands, and that's it. But I think making sure that you have a good morning routine starts by making sure you have enough sleep the night before. And that might mean pushing your bedtime a little bit earlier. I know it's a little unfortunate, but that's how I think most people can fit in a nice morning routine. Now, for myself, my morning routine is probably more elaborate than yours needs to be, and that's because I'm very much I want to be by myself, within myself, with my own thoughts in the morning, doing things for myself. And so, because I have a family and a wife and kids, and um, alone time is something that I don't get after they're up. And then when they go to bed, like I said, I go to sleep not too far after that. So I don't have a lot of alone time in the evening. And honestly, I'm just mentally and physically exhausted in the evening, and I don't really feel like doing anything besides just sitting on the couch. So, the morning is where it's at for me. So my morning routine's a little bit more elaborate than most people's would be, and that's okay, right? I'm not saying that mine's right or yours is not as good as mine, or you know whatever. But so the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is obviously I go to the bathroom. And after I'm done with the bathroom, first thing I do is come downstairs. I get my water, have some water. I sit down in my reclining chair. I put my headphones on and I do a 10-minute meditation almost every single morning, Monday through Friday. Um, and for me, that's the best time for me to do meditation. I found that that's the time I'm most consistent at. It's the time that my brain is most free from the craziness of life so that I can just zone out, listen to the meditation, and be with my own thoughts without things interrupting me or creeping in, etc. Right. And so the first 10 minutes of my day is really just sitting in a chair with my headphones in, listening to a meditation. Um, and then from there, I head down into my basement, aka the gym. I have a padded mat down there, and I do about 10 minutes of just stretching. Right, stretching's lame. I don't. I'm not convinced, that it improves my mobility or keeps my joints healthier or anything like that. But it feels good. It's gentle movement. Um, and I use an app called ROMWOD, or actually they just changed it. It used to be called ROMWOD, now it's called Pliability. And they have like 10-minute stretching routine. They have longer ones, but they have 10-minute stretching routines. So I just do 10 minutes of stretching. I don't really focus on anything in particular. I just do the daily one. Like I said, I'm not convinced that it's making me more mobile or anything like that. It's just kind of relaxing and it gives me a little bit of movement, just like a little bit of yoga kind of. And I like it. So I usually do that for 10 minutes after that. Then I like to do some just basic fasted cardio um, most days, right? So um, it's a good time to do some cardio. I get a little bit of easy movement in. It's not hard, it's just mindless. I pop on a podcast. I can respond to emails. I can just do other things while I'm doing it. So I kind of multitask if I have to. Sometimes I don't do anything. Sometimes I do. Just kind of whatever is on my plate for that day. But I hop on my Rogue Echo bike. I do 8 minutes on that. I hop on the Concept 2 ski erg. I do 8 minutes on that. I hop on my Concept 2 rower. I do 8 minutes on that. And again, this is all very easy. Imagine like zone two, breathing through your nose, low heart rate cardio. I'm not sweating. I'm not in my workout clothes. Nothing like that. Just going through, just doing some movement. Some days it feels better than others, but that's just I do it every day. Almost every day. And then after that, I hop on the treadmill for whatever time I have left until I have to head upstairs, which is whatever time I usually have left is between probably 10 and 20 minutes of walking on the treadmill. I walk on the treadmill, again, answering emails. Maybe I watch a YouTube video if I don't have anything to do work-wise, email-wise, or anything like that. Watch a YouTube video, something educational, something productive with those 10 to 20 minutes. Then I head upstairs and it's time for family, right? This is how we get my day started from there. I pack the kids' lunches. After that, I head upstairs, I take a shower, come back downstairs, get the kids' shoes on. In the meantime, my wife is getting them to get dressed and all that stuff while I'm taking a shower. Get the kids' shoes on, get their lunches in the backpacks, get them into the car, head off to school, drop them off at school, drive back home, and then I will have breakfast, make my breakfast, and then start my day. And that usually happens. I start my day usually around. I sit down at my computer around 8:30 with my breakfast around there. So from maybe let's say 5:30 to 8:30 is well, okay, 5:30 to about 6:50 in the morning, if you want to be very precise, is me time. That's my time to do the things that I want to do. So a little bit over an hour, a little less than 2 hours or so of my time, of my morning routine. Just get my day started, get my brain straight, get me mentally focused, and do the things that I need to do for myself in that time of day. And then it's time to start, getting the kids off to school after that. But I've been doing that morning routine. I don't know, a few years now, and it's taken different forms. I didn't always have a Concept 2 rower. I didn't always have the bike. I didn't always have the ski erg. I originally just had a treadmill, um, and so it's evolved. I didn't always do the mobility stuff. I had to figure out that meditation worked for me in the morning. So it evolved to that, right? Like that was something that evolved over many, many, many years and tinkering with various different things. And occasionally I still do other things in the morning. On the weekends, it looks a little bit different. Um, Like, for example, this past few Saturdays, my son has his quote unquote ninja class in the morning, which is like American Ninja Warrior type of thing. He does that in the morning on Saturday morning. So, and I don't really like to set an alarm and wake up on Saturday and Sunday if I can avoid it. So I just sleep as late as I can until the kids kind of wake me up or I wake up on myself. And sometimes that means I have a little bit of time to do a morning routine. I might do some movement or something like that. But like the past two Saturdays, I slept in. I just ate breakfast and got out the door. Went to bring my son to Ninja. I didn't really do that. Sundays, I try to do, because we don't really have anything on the calendar usually. I try to do some kind of like long walk in the morning. I love walking. I prefer to do it outside. Wintertime, how early I get up in the morning in the summer, it's mostly dark outside, so I got to move it inside. But on Sundays, I wake up a little bit later, and I usually have some time to at least go outside for like a 20-minute walk, just in the morning in the sun, put on a podcast and walk. And that's kind of my morning routine on Sunday usually. Um, but yeah, so Saturday and Sunday usually look a little different, but Monday through Friday, if I'm home, that's generally how I start my day. And I do that every day. And I feel like that for me sets me up to, uh, for my best day, right? I've calmed my mind. I've freed, I've just cleared out some mental space. I've listened to some educational material. I've been somewhat productive. If I need to respond to emails, I can do that and stuff like that while I'm doing some physical activity, moving my body. And that starts my day off right. And I get a bunch of steps in, I get a bunch of movement in, I got some nice mental health work done. And for me, that is my time, and that's what I like to do with my time. But everyone's different. Everyone is 100% different, and there's no right answer there. So I just want to stress the importance of having a morning routine. Like I said, it doesn't need to be like mine. It could be 5, 10 minutes, just anything to set your day up so that you're off on the right foot. Because I think when we get our days set up right, we're much more likely to be successful. And when our days like just start randomly every day, and as soon as we wake up, there's some kind of fire we need to put out, like that's just terrible. Like you're bound to like just everything is going to go downhill, more likely to go downhill from there. Whether you're talking about your eating, your stress, your exercise, all that stuff can kind of just like suffer if you just start your day off in like this high stressed mode, and reactive. I'm a big fan of like starting off in a non-reactive day and like way, and like knowing what's ahead of you and going into the day with a clear mind, and setting, doing something for yourself to motivate you to keep on going for the rest of the day, right? Like you just feel good because you got in some steps, you did a little bit of workout, you did some meditation, you had a solid breakfast, right? Like all that stuff is like getting the ball rolling in the right direction for the day, and I think that's super important. Basically, is what I'm saying. So I know this video went a little bit long. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have a morning routine or have questions about like the morning routine or think I'm batshit crazy or whatever, please leave a comment in the video below. Happy to chat about it. I'd love to hear what your morning routine is, honestly. Like, please tell me what it is because I find this stuff super interesting. Um, and yeah, with that, I hope everyone has a great weekend. I'm going to my cousin's wedding, which should be super fun this weekend. So that's gonna be a great time. But if you are interested in getting all the material that I put out on a weekly basis, like these videos, they're usually not as long as this, I promise. But if you're interested in getting the material, please go to my homepage, rjbhealth.coach. Click the newsletter link at the top, enter your email address, and be sure to sign up for the newsletter, and you'll get all this content emailed to you. Also, if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, I do have like very, very limited spots. Maybe by the time you hear this, I might not have any. I have another call with a potential client coming up, so I'm very like maybe down to one spot here. So, but if you are interested, I'll happily put you on a waiting list, etc. But you can go to my homepage, rjbhealth.coach. Click on the setup discovery call right on the homepage there and fill out the Google form, and I will get back to you and we can talk some more about that. Have a good weekend, everyone, and I'll talk to you all soon.